Welcome to FOH. This week, Kenny, we're doing the Hoyo de Monterrey Epicure No1 in our Corona Gorda series, UEB September 19. What are you drinking? Because you got a smirk on your face, it must be half decent.
I'm just alive. One's happy to be alive.
It's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday. What are you drinking, mate?
I'm just tasting some Tasmanian sparklers. That's the Piri Apogee from 2017. Very nice.
Very good. Okay. I've been tasting, I had some Greek sparkling rosé lately, which I've really enjoyed. I never knew they made decent Greek wines, but they do. I've actually had quite a few now. No, you're not a big believer?
Yeah, look, there are some decent Greek wines. We don't see much of them out here, but there is certainly some decent Greek wines. None of them are called Retsina.
No, of course not. No, they're not. No, these are top end Greek. You'd like them actually. Some beautiful stuff.
I've seen some very good Greek wines, but you just don't. First of all, we can't pronounce them. Second, you don't know don't know much about them. Third, we just never see them.
Talk about things you don't see. Cuban cigars. So the Hoyo de Monterrey Epicure No1 in the pantheon of Corona Gorda cigar sales. Definitely beats the Juan Lopez one, Cohiba Siglo 4, mostly because of price point and availability. Probably on line with the Magnum 46. No. Punch would have its nose in front.
Sorry. We're doing this series. I don't remember seeing the Siglo 4 in this series.
Oh, it's coming. It's just a crescendo.
Oh, yeah, fat chance of that. You sent out the full list, and that wasn't part of it.
You're not worthy, Ken, at this point for the Siglo 4. You're just not worthy.
How can we ever know unless we see? How can we do justice to the series if we don't look at all
the last cigar, Ken, the Siglo 4. And we've had some crackers in this series, but Siglo 4.
Well, this is cigar 3, so not a lot.
But it's twice the price of any other cigar in there. Actually, more, 2.5 times the price of any other cigar in there.
So price matters to providing the information to your thousands of members.
Provide, but I wanted to go through everything else first, and then we'll make an assessment of whether Cohiba is just a glorified, well, as it's been called lately, just an overpriced, glorified marketing tactic, or is it something superb? Siglo 4 is going to be our last cigar in this series. First of all, Epi 1 has always had a legion of fans, the Epi 1. I love the Corona Gorda, as you guys know. You've had these a few times, Ken, more than a few times. Thoughts? What are you expecting? What are you expecting?
Well, I was just trying to say, I'm expecting, I can continue. I'm expecting a decent cigar. I'm not expecting anything to sort of rock the world, but you expect these to be good. If I had to, not that scores are necessarily all that relevant in a way, but I'd be 92, 93, you'd hope, 92 maybe. Anything above that, we've done well. If you start getting down to the 90s, 88s, etc., it's not where it should be. That's my feeling.
Oh, what feeling? No, I'm okay. I mean, I think it's quite remarkable that people go in expecting a 93-point cigar. It's a new world, isn't it?
Yeah. 92, 93, yeah. Look, that's just it is the way of the world now, isn't it?
If I wanted an everyday good smoking cigar, for me, it's an 89, 90-point cigar.
I think that's probably not an unfair statement. But these, you expect something a bit better.
Yeah, okay. You got a higher expectation than I do. Although I've had aged examples. I don't know. And we'll talk about this when the review comes out on the forum. Difference between Epicure Especial and flavour and the Epicure No1, and which one of these Epicures has the most class about it? Because in the end, this is about cream in a cigar. The Epicure series, yeah, Epicure Especial, Epicure No1. There's always generally a lot of cream in there. There's a sweetness in there, but and that's not really a flavour profile that. I like it, but it's not the one I'm always chasing. So I'm probably the worst. I'm the wrong person to review this cigar, except that it's my show and I actually have the cigars. Beyond that, It's not one of my favorite cigars. It's
Not just the
in
wacky.
in the Corona Gore of the world. No, I prefer something a little bit richer. But
So on an average, if you were asked, I know scores are misleading and really should be looking at the actual cigars rather than scores. But before we look at it, where would you be assuming would be your sort of average
89,
score?
89, 90, and if it was a really good cigar, 92. But you must have wines. You must, when you're in your wine tasting world, Ken, you've got wines that you got mates who and other judges who absolutely adore, but you've had it time and time again, and it just does. They just don't click with you.
Yeah, you do, look, I know what you're saying, but also with that, you've got to try and put the personal preference aside and judge it on what it is. Otherwise, Sauvignon Blanc would get 0 every time. But you've got to actually say, well, where does this rate in the Sauv Blanc world? Is it a good Sauv Blanc? Is it just because you don't like it, where does it fit? And that can be a difficult thing to do, cigars and wine, but you've got to try and do that.
No. There's not too many cigars that fall in that category for me, but this is certainly one of them in terms of, I've had great Epicure #1s. I've just had too many average ones. And not average, just ones that just don't blow me away. Look, I can have average Magnum 46. You had one last week, yeah? And I loved it. You know, I mean, I've had plenty of average punch in my life, but the last 18 months in punch have been absolutely sublime. Siglo 4s, I've been really disappointed in a Siglo 4. But, you know, now you're pushing over $700 US a box for a Siglo 4s. I'm expecting a 93, 94, 95 point cigar every goddamn time. Yeah.
I might have raised expectations a little.
I won't tolerate an 89 point Siglo 4 for that price point.
What are you going to do? Send it back?
I'll stamp my feet really loudly.
Wag that finger.
I'll write something nasty on the internet.
You and the rest of the world.
I know. What a world we've become, yeah? We're just complete warriors. All of us. All right. So how's the draw on that cigar?
It's pretty firm, actually.
But mine's firm too, but not too firmer than you like. It drinks some
marginally.
Yeah. It'll work itself through. We'll be back with you at the end of the first third. Kenny, first third.
Just started to get a bit of sweetness, a bit of creaminess come in. Before that, it was more sort of a hot chocolate, milky chocolate character.
Yeah, toasted tobacco, milky chocolate. But you're right, the cream in the last couple of millimeters has just started to kick in, which is nice, actually.
No, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a solid 91 at this point for me.
Yeah, it's up there, 91, 92 for me.
91, solid. It's got that cream. It's always comforting. It's not, even though it's not a flavor I really chase. It's always comforting to see it in a cigar that's supposed to have it. I hate cigars that are supposed to have something and then just don't show a damn thing of it. But it's actually nice to see. Nice to see. We'll be back with you at the end of the second third.
And we can't let it go without a toaster warning. Seriously.
Oh, warning. Yeah, one of the great cricketers in history.
That is just devastating.
Back at the end of the second third. Second third, Kenny, that's held on to that cream.
Yeah, to a degree. It hasn't certainly. Yeah, it has. It has. Certainly hasn't evolved too much or increased or anything like that, but it's okay. My first third I enjoyed more than the last bit, but it certainly hasn't gone too far.
A touch dirty.
No, I'm not getting that.
You got a wonky burn on yours too, yeah?
A little bit. It's outside. I've got this sort of shade cloth there. With the shade cloth thing and the red floor, it makes me look as though I'm a human lobster.
I thought that was just good living, Ken. That's what it looks like. Just good living.
No, sadly not. Sadly not.
Yeah.
No, the shade cloth is a sort of orange, and the stone floor is red. So between them,
You're looking very healthy.
Hey?
Yeah, you're looking
Makes
very
me
healthy.
Jesus, that's about the only thing that could. Yeah, look, it's not bad. It's not blowing me away at the moment.
I'm back,
It's dropped
back
back.
to 89, back to 89.90. Yeah,
I'm 88, 89. I was up there 91, 92 for the first third. I'm
I was
back to
hoping
80.
hold on. So hey, I've got 1/3 to go. Back with you shortly. Kenny's just looking at we got the big rugby league competition starting this weekend, and we're both Brisbane Broncos fans, and we're in for a tough time against Souths. To say, very tough time.
I think we're in for a tough season. Yeah, if they make the 8, I'll be very impressed and a little surprised.
Be very surprised. Let's talk about the Epicure No1. Yeah, because this last third actually to me improved.
No,
over the second third. No.
My first third downhill a little bit for the second third, downhill more for the last third. It's got very hot. It's not dirty, but it's very hot.
88.
Yeah, 88 at best. That's disappointing.
88. That's where we're hoping wouldn't land. 88.
Yeah, I was hoping for better. Well, and the what did I have last week that was a dud? The Magnum 46.
I had a really good 46. You had a dud 46, 2 duds. I better get that Cahiba Cyclo 4 out shortly. What's the next one? Next one is Fine Low Pair Selection 1, followed by the Cahiba Cyclo 4. Okay. So what's the standout cigar has been the Punch so far?
By a long way for me.
By a long
Only
way.
3, so it's been a long way.
Still, it shows, it reflects in the sales. It's been really good cigars. Oh, disappointing, mate. Disappointing. Well, we can't have winners I mean, it's been okay. What's the problem?
Yeah, I'm pushing. I did a Gurkha for your confessions the other day.
How'd you like the Gurkha?
Well, it was interesting because Steve, I did the thing and sent it in saying it's the first time I've ever tried a Gurkha. And Steve then sent out a previous confessions where I'd had a Gurkha, and I thought, well, that didn't make any impression on me, did it? I didn't even remember it. I was actually, it was fine. It wasn't, it wasn't stellar or anything stupendous or anything like that, but it was just a decent cigar. Okay. I thought, it doesn't get any love on this forum, but
if you take away, I've had a couple of, I've smoked most of the Gurkhas, and I've told this story before, but I didn't take Gurkha seriously at all until I saw really good mates of mine smoking Gurkha in Hong Kong at a lunch, and they swore, look, there's a million Gurkhas you can choose from, but these guys have picked the eyes out of it in terms of what they were smoking, and I smoked it and I thought, yeah, that's a decent cigar. Mind you, the price point was ridiculous, but it was a decent cigar.
This was a 125th Rothschild or whatever it's called, and I quickly flicked on Google to sort of, because everyone talks about the price point, and my first impression was 160 US for the cigar. It's going to want to be good. Then I realised, in fact, no, it was 160 for a box. So the thing was about $8 or whatever it was. So at $8,
Is that a cigar?
160 Australian. Yeah, I mean, for an $8 cigar, I thought, yeah, that's actually a decent cigar. It was better than this thing.
I'll send this review to Habanos. Hey, we're not on the best of books at the moment.
Well, this will help.
I assume Habanos will turn up one day and say, hey, we're back in business. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, if they don't, you're in strife.
Well, true. Actually, I got some of those nudie dahlias coming out. I want you to try one. We've nailed honey, so we'll get you to try one of those, and we might do that blind.
I'm just
actually say blind. Well, no, you won't be blind. Let's get on the drinks. We'll come to your place. We'll do it from your place. Good fun.
God, all my mates.
Thank you, Kenny. I'm sorry about the Epicure No1.
No.
It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is. Yeah,
it is. That's why people say Epicure Especial, got that cream all the way through. Hoyo de Monterrey, you've got, I know it's not a Corona Gorda, you got the Rio Seco, absolutely kicking it out of the park. We had a Rio Seco 8-9 cigars ago. Ken, you loved it. It's brilliant.
If you say so.
The Rio Seco, you loved it.
I'm sure I did.
You gave it a 98, 99. You can't remember it, can you? Yeah.
If you tell me.
I have
88, 89.
I have no idea. I have no idea why he continues on this program.
No one else is silly enough.
No credibility. We'll be see you next week, Kenny. Have another glass of wine, and to our forum members.
Same glass, not as I've been.
A great week. Yeah.
But have fun.
Really nothing. Hasta luego. Cheers.